if I died knowing that I did what was right, or did my best to do what was right, and even if in the history books they said I did wrong, I would still feel okay about that. I care about the reality of goodness, not the perception of it.
I think I feel fear quite strongly. So it's not as though I just have the absence of fear. I feel it quite strongly. But there are just times when something is important enough, you believe in it enough, that you do it in spite of the fear. You know, the sort of first principles reasoning. I mean, generally, I think there are. What I mean by that is boil things down to their fundamental truths and reason up from there, as opposed to reasoning by analogy. Through most of our life, we get through life by reasoning by analogy, which essentially means kind of copying what other people do with slight variations. And you have to do that, otherwise it's mentally you wouldn't be able to get through the day. But when you want to do something new, you have to apply the physics approach. Physics has really sort of figured out how to discover new things that are counterintuitive, like quantum mechanics. It's really counterintuitive. So I think that's an important thing to do. And then also to really pay attention to negative feedback and solicit it, particularly from friends. This may sound like sort of simple advice, but it's hardly anyone does that, and it's incredibly helpful.
Generally, if somebody's trying to make a company work, they should expect to grind super hard, except that there's like some meaningful chance of failure. But just be focused on having the output be worth more than the input. That are you a value creator, making more than you take?
I mean, I did have this existential crisis when I was around 12 about what's the meaning of life? Isn't it all pointless? Why not just commit suicide? Why exist? I read the religious texts. I read the philosophy books that, well, especially the German philosophy books made me quite depressed, frankly. One should not read Schopenhauer and Nietzsche as a teenager. But then I read Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is a book on philosophy in the form of humor. And the point that Adams was making there was that we don't actually know what questions to ask. That's why he said that, you know, the answer is 42. Like, basically, Earth's a giant computer, and it came up with the answer 42. But then to actually figure out what the question is, that's the actual hard part. I think this is generally true also in physics. At the point at which you can properly frame the question, the answer is actually the easy part. So my motivation then was that, well, my life is finite, really a flash in the pan on a galactic time scale. But if we can expand the scope and scale of consciousness, then we are better able to figure out what questions to ask about the answer that is the universe. And maybe we can find out the meaning of life, or even what the right question to ask is. You know, where did we come from? Where are we going?
Big companies are not very good at revolutionary innovation. They're okay when it comes to incremental, you know, things here and there, but they have a real problem with, you know, taking the next leap forward. What is really the constraint? Is the constraint a quantity of resources? It's not the quantity of resources. It's do they have the quality of? Is there a small, very talented, focused, dedicated team that's willing to take the risks and make something happen? That's the scarce commodity, not money. The world is awash in money.
I go to sleep, I wake up, I work, go to sleep, wake up, work, do that 7 days a week. I'll have to do that for a while. No choice.
My proceeds from PayPal after tax were about $180 million. 100 of that went into SpaceX, 70 into Tesla, and 10 into SolarCity. And I literally had to borrow money for rent.
When starting SpaceX, I thought the odds of success were less than 10%. And I just accepted that actually probably I would just lose everything. But that maybe would make some progress. If we could just move the ball forward, even if we died, maybe some other company could pick up the baton and keep moving it forward. You want to focus on something that you are personally passionate about, that you personally care about.
it's very hard to be motivated for a product that you don't really feel strongly about. And it doesn't have to be high tech. It could be in any field. It's got to be a product that you feel is really needs to be there, and something that you personally love. And I would listen to your instincts on do you love this product or service? Because it's kind of impossible to know what do other people love. But if you love it, that's a good sign. And that could be small to large, any field. It doesn't have to be high tech. But if you don't really love the product that you're making, if you can't, like a good test would be that you can't wait for this product to be on the market. And if that's the case, you're going in the right direction. If you want to recruit people that are really talented and driven, you have to state what's the mission, what's the problem we're trying to solve. Yep. And just be clearly willing to pour a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it, and have a convincing argument for why it matters. Yep. There's three major things for in terms of motivation. It's like, first of all, somebody's got to look forward to coming to work in the morning. Like if they're are they enjoying the work itself intrinsically? That's very important. And the right work environment can really make a big difference there. I think ideally is that they also feel like that their rewards will receive fair financial compensation, like that the financial rewards are good and fair. And then third, for the best people in the world, they'll want to know, is what they're doing going to matter?
Yep.
Like, so if they spend 10 years doing this, will it make a difference to the world, or will people notice? Will it matter?
Not every post I make is a banger. And I do shoot myself in the foot from time to time. But at least it's genuine. It's not some sort of PR department deciding things. So, if you're a normal human being and you speak freely, there are times when you will say things that you subsequently regret or are foolish, of course. But if you're constantly going through a filter, now you're not being real. So I think it's better to be real than to go through a filter.
Either be a spectator or a participant. And if I'm a spectator, I can't really influence the direction of AI, but if I'm a participant, I can try to influence the direction of AI and have a maximally truth-seeking AI with good values that loves humanity. You have to be truth-seeking as well. Truth has to be absolutely fundamental, because you can't understand the universe if you're delusional. You'll simply think you've understood the universe, but you will not. So being rigorously truth-seeking is absolutely fundamental to understanding the universe. You're not going to discover new physics or invent technologies that work unless you're rigorously truth-seeking. And there's no bullshitting physics. So it's like you can break a lot of laws, but you can't. Physics is law. Everything else is a recommendation. Like, in order to make a technology that works, you have to be extremely truth-seeking, because otherwise you will test that technology against reality. And if you make, for example, an error in your rocket design, the rocket will blow up.